Hello fellow engineers and welcome back to Cities Skylines. We are going to load up a previous save. So we owe everything to Mr. Tesla 5. Because you remember in a previous episode, I tried to model a Tesla valve in order to stop a giant tsunami from destroying a city. And this is what I came up with. It's a very strong shape. But some of you pointed out that my Tesla valve isn't actually a Tesla valve. And at first I was like, yeah, it is. You don't know what you're talking about, mate. But then I had a little look and I was like, actually, they've got a point. I've cocked this up a little bit. So since I am not an architect, we will rebuild this. But first, let's just see where I went wrong. I think everything up until this point is fine. We've got the tsunami going up the trench. The rest of the tsunami is getting bounced back over that way. That's all good. We've got the structural walls over here. They're definitely good. But yeah, it was this little bit up here. Now, if you look at an image of a Tesla valve, you'll see it's not meant to be symmetrical. It's meant to be asymmetrical so that the wave it does get guided up each arm a bit easier. Whereas if you watch the time-lapse version of this one, you'll see it goes up both sides but also through the middle, and it doesn't really make sense. Now, we know the water physics in this game, they're not super realistic, but I feel like doing an asymmetrical Tesla valve, it might actually force the wave to go up each arm and to get the spin around thing we're looking for a bit better. Of course though, there's only one way to find out. So I'm going to very painstakingly reload this and then delete the entire Tesla valve. And the reason for me moaning is because this literally took like hours and hours to make. Anyway, let's delete all of those walls up there. Delete. Oh wow, look, the ground actually disappears. I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, that is the last of the walls deleted, which means we got a clean slate, sort of. So rather than our gun silencer design, which apparently is what I sort of made last time, we are actually going to be trying to do a proper Tesla valve. Yeah, and I feel like there's sort of two ways of doing this, because ideally you want your valve to be like the same width all the way around. So if this is our space to work with, it might be worth sort of making the entrance a lot narrower. So if we come down to the landscaping tool down here, we can click on the level terrain tool. We can right click on the top of the mound. That will set the height. Make sure the size and the brush strength is all good. And then I guess I want to start filling this in. And I mean, ideally, I want all of this to be solid, and then I'll cut it out afterwards. So that sounds like I've got a lot of earth filling to do. If you want to time-lapse this, editor, that would be nice for people, because they don't want to see 2 hours of me doing this, I'm sure. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit annoyed how long I made this thing. I mean, I'm barely halfway. It's so long. Why is it so long? I think I was definitely compensating when I first designed this. Okay, I've just got some ironing of the creases to do, and then I think we're done. I don't even know why I'm doing this. It doesn't make a difference at all. I'm a perfectionist. It's the bane of my life, having to make things perfect when it makes no difference to the finished product. But if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly, right? Right? Please someone agree. Please someone say they're glad I did this properly so it looked nice. My hand. Ow, my hand. Ow, my hand. Ow, ow, ow. Right, okay, we've done it. We have filled up the shaft, which means we're now ready to build the actual Tesla valve. Now, I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to go onto this water structures tab. I'm going to build this with flood walls. If we start from, say, there-ish, then we want to come down to around about there, I guess. And from what I learned last time, I want to try and do like as smooth as a curve as possible. We don't want this to act as like a wall. We actually want it to deflect the curved. So perhaps something like that. So if we do our parallel piece like that. So this is where the water's going to go down. So you can see now it has to go around this tube. It can't take a shortcut. However, there is going to be a little bit of a shortcut, because if we link these two up and then continue past, we can put that sort of a line in. And if we put a similar offset to there, then this is where we can do our other curve from. So hopefully something like that. So if we do a little bit of deleting, you can sort of see where we ended up. So if we then go, I think we go from this point here down that direction, so probably to around there-ish. I'm trying to keep this parallel. I am trying to keep this parallel. It's quite hard to do. I've never built one of these before. Right, and then I'm trying to just copy this bit to there. So something like that. And then if we trim these back to that line. That is what we end up with, which seems a bit better than it was. I think I do need to trim these ends a little bit better. So we'll come down to the bottom right. This is the Move It mod if you've never used this before. And this allows you to like grab a node and literally go like move that one back, grab this node, move it to there so they overlap very tidily. Nice. And that one, I'll do a bit of that. Right, so that looks pretty neat to me. I'm quite intrigued to see how this works as it is. I do think I need to do another one here. And actually, if you look at these, that is way bigger than this one. So yeah, I think it might be worth trying to move this over a little bit. Right, so I think this is probably our last one I'm going to do for now. And this will be a good little test just to see if a proper Tesla valve actually works. Oh, I can only apologize. I got so excited in the last video about actually doing a Tesla valve that I just overlooked, which you should never do as an engineer. But still, thank you to those that pointed it out. And hopefully this video will make up for my mistakes of the last one. Right, so that looks pretty decent. I guess to start with, we've just got to chop this up because this is going to be a very narrow tidal wave compared to what we had previously. So back in the landscaping tool, let's select that level and then let's get deleting in here. This is going to be hopefully not as brutal as filling in because at least I'm working between the lines. It's basically like coloring in. I mean, and even better, it doesn't matter if I go over the lines because we've got the wall there. Look, I've cocked up there, but it doesn't matter because the wall is still there thanks to the flood walls. Yeah, if you want to try this yourself, I definitely recommend building with flood walls. So one final thing to cut out and then I'll quickly explain what I expect to see, followed by we'll see what actually happens. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to be the same, but honestly I have no idea. I mean, it could, and then I'd be very, very impressed, not gonna lie. Right, so that is the valve cut out pretty much. This front edge, I feel like we might need to do a bit of tweaking here because I think yeah, look, there's a level difference. And as we know in this game from previous tests, if we were to just do a slope like up there, that won't actually affect the physics too much. So we'll use the slope tool. I think we'll go to like that point. I think that seems fair. And then we'll just slope up to there. Nice. Right, so now the engineering theory. What do we expect to happen here? So the tidal wave, as it comes up here, we're going to expect that water to come down along here. And because it's going so fast, it should continue past this. I mean, some is going to go down there, just a little trickle. But the majority is going to come around here, loop round, and then obviously that loop round is going to slow it down, at least from heading along that way. So it sort of flings back up here, and then any water that was coming down this end is going to be slowed down by the water shooting backwards. Yeah, and then each loop it does that, hopefully the velocity will slow down more and more. And there are a couple of things to bear in mind with these. Generally, this sort of Tesla valve is meant to be within like a closed container. It's not meant to have like an open channel top like this one does. Although you do actually see Tesla valves, or at least something similar to these, on some rivers, like particularly ones where they're trying to get like fish to be able to go up a hill or something. Quite cool. It basically slows down the flow enough so that the fish can go like upstream. But yeah, in terms of what's going to happen in this game, I know the water sort of acts more like light. I think it only works in like a straight direction and then it sort of bounces off things. So I really don't know. I do want to do one more thing before we start though, because I'm a perfectionist. I feel like I need to neaten up these edges. So give me a second while I fill in all these gaps. Why do I have to be a perfectionist? Why, Matt? Why? Right, much better. That's 2 hours of my life I'm never going to get back, but anyway, let's press play and we'll watch this. I was going to say normal motion, but tidal waves are quite slow in this game, particularly mega tsunamis. Anywho, here we are at the first ramp, so we should see this wave. Oh man, it's a lot taller than you sort of expect. It's because it does the weird graphics thing where you see through the wave. But anyway, you can see most of the wave is being pushed back by the vertical walls, but a sneaky peek down here, you'll see there are some waves heading straight through. That is just what we want to see. But if you look at the wave, can you see it's still straight? I'm not sure that would actually happen in real life. I feel like it would have been tilted by now, but it'd be interesting to see what way it goes. I mean, oh god, where has that come from? Has the wave gone through my wall, or is that just sitting on top? Don't know. We might have to make those walls a bit taller if that has gone through. Anyway, yep, definitely not working as intended. I mean, we weren't really expecting any water to go down that bit. It should be flinging itself around this edge and then heading backwards. It will be interesting to see though, will this bottom bit, is it getting deflected? It is actually getting deflected. And then because there's another wave coming in, that's going straight up. And that's probably going over. Yep, it's going over all right. The top up here, that's had a nice watering. We've created a reservoir up here. My bad. Meanwhile, you can actually see this water where it's shot out of the curve. It is actually heading back up there, which is sort of what we would expect. Yeah, you can sort of see around there. There's a little bit of a wave coming out. I mean, it's not really working as intended, but if we look down this end, we can zoom right in and look how small the tsunami is. It's tiny. And whilst the remaining bit of wave goes around that loop, I think, even though it's not even connected to our city, I think our city would have been fine. Although now you can see there's actually a fair amount of water making its way up there. I feel like this will be worth running again, but perhaps from here we'll spread it out to see if it reaches our city. Okay, so I've loaded to this point. I'm going to do two things. I am going to make these front walls a bit taller. So hopefully that should work. And then down this end, and I've sort of made like a knobception here. So knob within a knob. This wasn't meant to be a knob. It's just how things work out sometimes in engineering. Right, so basically we've got that now, we've got this, and then we've got the long curve heading to our big city, which we're hopefully going to protect still. I mean, it's quite nice down here. We've got some posh buildings, a stadium, even a big old lookout tower, which we've ruined the view for everyone. There's not a lot to see anymore. With our new asymmetrical Tesla valve, there's no room for a sea view. Sorry, but hopefully it will actually protect them. Let's find out. So I guess first thing to check is what happens to the wave when it hits the wall. Will it jump over like last time? I'm not 100% convinced that's even what happened last time, but we will see. Yep, so you can see clearly no water made it over there. So if water now appears on here, it means it's sort of breaching my wall somehow. No, look, it is. There it is. Something's gone where's that water come from? Because you can see clearly the wave's been pushed back there. I feel like my Tesla valve has broken reality in this game. Like, look how much water's on there suddenly. Where did that come from? I don't understand. Anyway, if we watch this from above, remember, we're looking for the water coming down here, sort of wrapping around. And it's important to remember as well, in real life, the Tesla valve, it's not meant for like a wave. It's meant for like constant flow. So there wouldn't be like a single tidal wave coming up. There'd be like a constant flow of water. And this is just to slow it down massively. But yeah, you can see around here, there's a wave coming out of that bit, which is what we'd expect. And that should in turn push the main flow down the middle back a bit, at least slowing it down, if not stopping it entirely. You see it's now approaching the final stages. I feel like this one, compared to my last one, it's a lot wetter. Like there's a lot more water involved. I mean, it's flowing all over the place, which is what you want. The idea of the Tesla valve is to make water very unstable, because basically we don't want it shooting out the end. Now I don't think, or has it actually? Yeah, I think it has slowed the water down. If you look at this wave at the bottom, this is sort of like the test measure. So if we were to draw a straight line from there straight up, that's where we'd expect the top of our wave to be. And I guess it is kind of there, but that's no longer the peak of the wave. That's just a little puddle basically. So yeah, looking from above, you can really see the difference it has made. I mean, from about now, if I just hit pause, you can see from here, the water should be entering the end of the tunnel, and it should be about, well, at least that sort of height. But bear in mind, there isn't like a straight wall here, so you can see the curve of the water that's entered through this river point. It has gone wider, meaning obviously the wave has got lower. But over this side, there hasn't really been that opportunity, so I guess the wave technically should be a similar height. But if we zoom in and press play, the wave, it hasn't even reached here yet. So we have actually slowed the wave down. That is confirmed. The trouble is, looking at these people and the size of the buildings and stuff, there's actually a lot of water coming behind them. Oh my goodness, that's actually quite a lot of water. I think this could actually destroy my city. So over on the edge of the motorway, you can see there's a small little river of puddle coming. Did it get the road wet? It looks a little bit shinier now. I don't think it's like underwater though, but oh dear, now you might be in trouble, guys. Oh, Oh dear. Although they are still driving through it. They haven't been washed away yet, somehow. So that's just entered my city. I'm going to slow this down as this second wave is approaching. I mean, it's not really a wave. It's more like a surge. We can keep an eye on the cars. No, they're getting washed away. There's that much water. The vehicles are getting washed away. Oh no, that spells a bad sign for my buildings, I think. I mean, we'll take a look. I think this is a train station, right? Yeah. So train station very much underwater. If you look in the distance, there's still more water on its way. We're getting like tidal surges here. Although whilst things are very wet, I don't actually see any buildings collapsing, which I guess has just proven our point in that the Tesla valve has indeed slowed the water down. I think we can pretty much say that's definitely happened, right? It's just the quantity of water hasn't reduced. It's just been spread out over time. So yeah, I am quite concerned for these guys. I mean, it managed to move a dump truck, which has now disappeared. And that looks like quite a pile up there. Or they're doing something naughty. Actually, they might do something naughty. Censor that. Censor that. Disgusting vehicles. Anyway, I feel like the water's been here for so long, people are just sort of going about their day as if the water's like always been there. Like, it's not a big deal, this woman says. Like, that moped is just like, yeah, normal day, mate. Just a bit of water. Police, nothing to see here. But if we head through our city and look over this direction, there is still a lot of water coming. Or is it? It's moving really, really slow. I wonder, is that actually heading towards my city? I think it is actually. Oh yeah, it's washing that coach away, and the lorry, they're being washed away. Oh dear, oh dear. All right, let's speed up again, and then you can actually feel the weight of that water now. But yeah, city not actually damaged, at least structurally. I mean, there's people probably have a lot of damp going on, but they are still standing. Look. Look at that traffic. I shouldn't laugh. I should not laugh. Oh, and it's killed the grass. It's killed the grass. So yeah, hopefully my Tesla valve apology video has shown that the Tesla valve does actually work, sort of, in terms of slowing the tsunami down and preventing it from destroying a beautiful city. However, and I think we can all agree on this, my Tesla valve, my Frankenstein one, actually worked better. So in your face, everyone in the comments that said I did it wrong, I did it better. In your face, Mr. Tesla. Anyway, on that bombshell, I will say peace, love, and Tesla valves that look like veins on the strongest shapey city thing. Bye!